Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lee Judges TV. I'm your host, Dan Potts, and I'm with Lee Judges. We could not leave it too much later to discuss what happened last night. I'm not going to sit here tonight and start asking loads of ridiculous questions because I think some of them are really, really simple. I've spent all of last night pretty much up awake, frustrated. I spent all of today, can't seem to shift the frustration and the passion and sometimes the hatred that I have for the way that our club and our football club is run. Lee Judges, my one question is simple. We want to get stuff off our chest. So I'd like you to tell myself and all of the listeners, welcome to everyone in the chat, by the way, how last night's defeat to Everton has left you feeling about Arsenal under Mikel Arteta.
Well, shaken, if I'll be honest. What I see last night, I'm now really worried about it all, And the reason I thought we needed to do this today is because, after the game, you're raw with emotion and everything like that. And you need to just calm down and take it. When you lose a game, like you take the frustration out, whether it be a player, a manager, or whatever, and then you have to sit down and assess what's gone on over the last 24 hours and whatever, And people have been saying to me today, you was overreacting because, Arteta, 1 minute you want Arteta in and Arteta out. And I feel that I need to address that. Listen, I've made it no secret. I feel, forget about the Arteta in and out, out of the process or whatever. Last season, after the run of games that we had, he deserved a sack. There's no two ways about it. He deserved to go. But people turned around and said to me reasons why: COVID, no fans in stadiums, not his players. So I accepted that, and I thought, do you know what? Maybe that's right. It's okay. Let's back him and see what he can do. And got a few good results, and then we'll messed up in Europe. Another sackable offence in my eyes. You know what I mean? Especially with Unai Emery. But again, oh no, it ain't his players. Let him get rid of all the players. Wait till the window gets done and all that. So that's what I decided to do. I said that right, I'm gonna back him, see what he can do, and I'm gonna make my judgment up at a certain part of the season. 3 games in, at the bottom of the league, everybody's going, he hadn't had his players and everything like that, and played Chelsea and Man City. Then we had all of his players in, we got on a run. And then I turned around and said, brilliant that we got on that run. Let's see what he does after the Everton game. And then I'll assess it. 15 games in, Dan, right? 15 games in, 7 wins, 6 losses. Can someone please tell me where the improvement is with £150 million spent? What baffles me a little bit now is, and I get this, I get it. We can have conversations without actually arguing with people that are in or want to back Mikel Arteta. Give him another 5 games or another 15 games to end up with the same position that we're in now. As much as I like Mikel Arteta, and I do like Mikel Arteta, I some of the things that I do like about him, I'm going to have to say that, and I've wanted it to really work. But the fact is, the matter is, I know in 15 games I'm going to be back to where we are again, and another year down the line, another season tickets money's worth spent. I'm losing heart with the fact that the club don't really care, because this shouldn't be left like it is. Other teams sack managers because they're not going to get where they want to get, Dan. Tottenham Hotspur sack their manager because they're not going to get fourth. Whether you think they're going to get fourth or not, I don't know. But ultimately, that's what they've done. We haven't. We're still waiting for. We're still waiting for. I don't know what. When are we going to sign a big, massive signing? I'm going to say it now. I've seen it in today. Jude Bellingham's going to be up for sale in the next couple of seasons. Are we going to be involved with that? Of course not. Of course not. You know what I mean? So where are we actually going to? Where are we actually going to, and whatever, And for me, Dan, the worst thing about yesterday was the way, you can go on about Man United, but let's be honest. We've gone to Liverpool and Manchester this season, and we've come back pointless in all 4 games. Right now, I look at the Man United team, and you could turn around and say, yeah, that was in disarray, but you could disarray, and you can say whatever you like, but they have a couple of world-class players. Everton yesterday are in absolute free fall. They've got their best forward not playing, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what someone else said today. Not only have they got their best forward missing, right? They had their backup centre forward missing, and all in Rondon. You know what I mean? And we got torn a new one. We could have lost 4 or 5-1. Now, what worries me is that people are saying, oh, well, we can win, you know, we'll win against Southampton. The confidence of these players is going to be shot now. So it's going to be a real difficult watch against Southampton. I can tell you that now. It ain't going to be like a free-flowing game. We're going to be like really under the pump. There's going to be pressure on us. So we've got another, luckily, if we can get another 1 or 2, 3 wins, 1 wins. But the fact of the matter is, you know what I mean, we're not improving. The team is not improved realistically. In fact, it's declining. Look at the performances yesterday. Can someone, you know, people turn around about tactics and say something said to me about tactics today. Can someone tell me what Lacazette's role in the team was yesterday? What was his role yesterday? 4 times the ball flashed across the box. He's on the edge of the box. You know what I mean? What was his role? Someone please tell me what was his role. You know what I mean? Like, and I am a little bit calmer, like Sam. I am a little bit calmer because, do you know what? My energy and zapped. I've had 2 hours sleep.
Exhausted.
I've had 2 hours sleep. I'm drained. I'm drained. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I was fuming yesterday. Like, you know, and what I'm seeing, Dan, is just not good enough. It's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, and that's where I am at this moment in time.
Well, let me tell you where I'm at this moment in time. You said you're quite chilled, Lee, and you're tired and exhausted. They're the 2 words that I would use of the last 14 months of me supporting Arsenal, saying the same thing. And people have said to me that I'm toxic and that I'm negative, and that after Manchester United, when I put a poll up asking about, and on Twitter asking about Arteta's future, I was negative. A game later, we lose to Everton. Where are all them fans now? Oh, actually, yeah, maybe you should go. Do we think actually we should get a new manager in? Well, 1 game. The amount of abuse I've received in the last 2 years is unbelievable, and all I've been saying is what now everybody is starting to say after Everton. And I don't understand why it's taken this long for fans to wake up and understand that this manager has never been good enough. Big up Daniel Bailey TV, by the way. Cheers for watching, Daniel. He says we're on the road to nowhere under this regime. And I think he's 100% spot on. The reason I think he's 100% spot on, Lee, is because when Mikel Arteta came to the club, nobody wanted him. The only reason people were excited is because he was a young, youthful manager that had a lot of backing from professionals in the game and who worked under Pep Guardiola. When he came in, he had Unai Emery's side, which, let's face it, was a lot worse than the side we've got now. We managed to get an FA Cup by beating Manchester City and Chelsea by using counter-attacking tactics of 3 at the back. And all of a sudden, that gave him a load of love coupons. Now, I was absolutely buzzing after the FA Cup win because I'm old school and I love the competition, and I'm not one of these fans who says that it doesn't matter. I would love us to win a League Cup or an FA Cup this year as well. I was buzzing by it. But I sat and I thought, everybody's had a free trial. Let's see what he does in the summer transfer window. And off the pitch, him and Arteta, and Edu, I thought have been pretty good. Gabriel and Partey was brought in. I think we needed a defensive midfielder and a centre midfielder since Sol Campbell and Vieira, and we've never quite got them. So I was really impressed. Then I looked at how we started. Little bit hit and miss. We beat Fulham at home. I thought, oh, that was pretty good. I think we beat West Ham and Sheffield United just 2-1 and 2-1 and 1-0, I think it was. Not really convincingly. Then we lost to Liverpool and City, and then we lost to Villa at home, Burnley at home, Leicester at home, Wolves at home, and I was like, done. That's enough for me. I can't see any more of this. Oh, toxic fan. The problem of the club, part of the problem. Get behind him, get behind the team and the manager, which is what I've done for 30 years, by the way, by going to every home and away game that I can. Get behind the team, stop moaning. Okay, cool. If that's how you want to be as fans, that's fine. I don't like to accept mediocrity, but if you're happy with 8th place, that's fine. Then I see us go into the Christmas period where he's forced to make changes like Smith Rowe coming into the side, and we go on a nice little run beating massive teams like Brighton, huge team Brighton, huge team like Wolves, absolutely massive team to beat them. And we start beating teams just like everyone's getting excited this season when we're 1-0 against Watford. Oh, what a convincing win. 1-0, beat Norwich 1-0. 1-0 against Norwich, Daniel Farke's team. Everyone else has beaten 4-0. We scraped past 1-0. Newcastle just had a new manager, scraped past them. First half of football was shambles. Everyone's getting excited, just like they did over that Christmas period where things were going amazingly well for Mikel. And then we come up against Villarreal, who got an unbelievable manager called Unai Emery, and we get embarrassed by the guy that we sacked for coming fifth. And in the Europa League final, with players like Iwobi and Welbeck and Mkhitaryan and Socrates and Mustafi and El Neni. And we get dumped out of the competition that he had a chance to get us back into the Champions League with. Done. Sack him. No. We'll keep him and we'll back him with 150 million of players that he would like. Then he goes into the season underprepared and we lose to Brentford, Chelsea and Man City. But it doesn't matter because it's not his team yet. Give him time. He's only had nearly 2 years. Give him more time, we keep hearing. So we give him more time. We go on a nice little run. We beat Burnley 1-0. We beat Norwich 1-0. We draw 0-0 in the rain to Brighton because it rained. It was a good result. We draw to Palace. Palace are doing very well under Patrick Vieira. That's a very good result at home, is all I keep hearing. And then I said, after the convincing wins against Leicester and Spurs, that I want to see what we can do before I get too excited against Manchester United, Liverpool and Everton. 3 big teams away from home. And we crumble. And he proves me right yet again. I was begging for him to prove me wrong. I was begging, Lee. Please, prove me wrong. Go to these 3 away teams and prove that you've got some balls and the young mentality of this squad has too. He has proven to me yet again that he is not ready for this job. So now, Lee Judges, I'm pointing at our amazing owners that everybody says has been amazing this summer for giving them £150 million. What are they going to do right now? Are they going to accept this? Are the fans going to accept this? And where are we going to go if we do accept this? That's my 3 questions right now for Stan Kroenke, the Arsenal fan base. And the last question is, if we do accept absolute mediocrity, then what mess are we being left in by an owner who's told us to be excited, by a director of football who's told us to judge this team when it's all together and fit, which it now is, and then let's see where we are. Well, I'll tell you where we are, Edu and Josh. We're in trouble. Because although we might be 4 points off of top 4, I'll tell you where we're also 4 points off of. 11th place. Steven Gerrard can come in 3 games and turn Aston Villa into a team. Patrick Vieira can be here for 2 months and turn them into an attacking style. Ragnick can turn Fred into Kante in 2 games of coaching. And we're stuck with a novice, with 8 teams in front of us who I believe personally have 7 different managers that are better than our one. In David Moyes, Ragnick, Conte, Tuchel, Klopp, Pep and Brendan Rodgers. 7 managers better than Mikel Arteta right there. So if anyone wants to come out and start explaining to me why they've been trusting a process that Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke have been delivering no differently to the last 10, 15 years, please explain to me what it is. Because I saw a young implemented side in 2007 with 2 amazing young players called Cesc Fabregas and Robin van Persie, and they never won a Premier League title or a Champions League. Then only a few years later, I saw 2 players who I loved at this club who were youngsters called Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere. And now I'm seeing 3 youngsters who I rate highly in Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli doing exactly the same thing. So why should I trust this process or regime, which is no different to the ownership we've had in the last 10, 15 years? So people can come at me and say I'm toxic and call me negative all they want. I love this football club, Lee. You know I do. And you know I want to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. But it's not going to happen under this clown. We have got no chance at top 4. We've got no chance at top 6 playing the way that we are. And this guy has got no understanding of team selection, man management or tactics. Because we play the most boring football I've ever seen. It is not an attacking style. I think you told me that there's only one goal in the last 7 games for a forward in Martinelli, and then some people don't even call him a forward. And we've got players that he's bringing on now ahead of others for no justification whatsoever. Players like Eddie Nketiah that are leaving in 6 months' time. He's bringing Lacazette into the team, who's doing nothing, of course, now, like Aubameyang, but it's not the players, it's not the manager's tactics, it's the players. I look at the situation of some of the midfield decisions, and it's bizarre that Maitland-Niles can get a man-of-the-match performance against Watford and then not kick a ball since. That Lokonga can have one poor game against Liverpool and get dumped out the side, brought back in against Newcastle, played well, and then gets replaced for El Neni and now Granit stinking Xhaka again, when this is supposed to be a youth project. I am so done with the manager and I'm so done with the ownership, Lee. It's a joke.
Yeah, Dan, these are the things I can't argue with you, and I absolutely agree with everything you say. It's a great point made up there. I don't know if it was Tucky, was it? I think turned around and said the goals that we've conceded and all that like that. We've conceded loads and loads of goals with a new back five and a cautious approach. You know what I mean? So what the hell is going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you made a great point today, and you've just brought it up now about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Man of the match. Hasn't had a minute since, you know what I mean? So he's put in a fantastic performance, hasn't played since. You know, and that's what really worries me about Martinelli, because, you know, someone's got to be left out for the next game because Smith Rowe's going to come back in. What's going to happen? You know, is Martinelli going to be left out and all that, like, you know? I'm watching our defence at the moment, like, you know, Ramsdale, by the way, made a great save from Iwobi. Otherwise, it could have been 3-4. Let's be really honest about it. Like, Everton should have and could have won that game 5-6-2 with a cautious approach. And people are asking me, well, where's the tactics wrong? What did Arteta actually do wrong? You know, I'll tell you what he actually done wrong. He got everything wrong in the game. What amazed me, he come out yesterday in his post-match interview. Well, we didn't pass the girl. We didn't do this well. Not once did he turn around and say, I hold my hands up and I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it. Players are not performing under him. I.e., Arteta, like, you know, Aubameyang is not playing under this manager. Lacazette, you know what I mean? Partey, what the hell has happened to him? You know, now the mentality of it all, like, you know what I mean, is incredible. Like, you know, I look at that game, you're 1-0 up, game management. You know, he's on the line telling players to do. You know, I think someone was injured, telling what players to do. It ain't his fault then that Partey and Tavares go and do what they did. You know, for a throw on, like, you know, I mean, I cannot believe what I see there from two professional footballers. You know, Maitland-Niles was man of the match. You know, I don't want to see Partey play on Saturday. I'm sorry, you should be dropped for that, and so should Tavares. I really like Tavares, but I'm not having it. I'm not having that no more. You know, someone said, which is a great point, Granit Xhaka. All credit to him yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, our best player in the midfield, and that just shows you how poor we are. 2 months been out, comes back into the team, 10, 15 minutes from the end, you know, completely and utterly gone. But we don't bring him on because we've made other substitutions. You know what I mean? Like, surely, you know, you could see he was tired. He was getting, you know, he's been out for 2 months. You know, he takes Kieran Tierney off, who's been out for 6 weeks. 3 of them, by the way, his own choice. Been training and everything, like, you know. Unbelievable. El Neni, can someone tell me, you know, what El Neni's done wrong in the last? He played really well against Manchester United. Don't get looked at afterwards, like, you know what I mean? You know?
And Lee, why? Let me ask you this seriously, and chat, please get involved with this, right? This is a serious question. I'm not messing about when I say this. Is Thomas Partey a poor footballer? And is Aubameyang a poor footballer? Or have we got a manager that cannot get the best out of these two? And that is a genuine question for me. Because sometimes there's no excuse for me when Aubameyang's missing sitters and Partey can't put a 5-yard pass. But has that got anything to do with mentality and confidence within this manager? Has it got anything to do with his lack of belief in terms of he can't get anything out of the seniors but can get a little bit out of some of the youngsters? Or is it just that these players are now just poor in the Premier League. They've got to the stage where they've just declined as a footballer. I can't answer this, Lee, but something's not right there for me. When Simeone can get the best out of Partey and Klopp and Tuchel can get the best out of Aubameyang, and I recognise I just named 3 managers there who are top class and Arteta isn't. It can't just be that, because for me, they are great footballers. Aubameyang still, for me, is one of the best strikers around in the Premier League. Thomas Partey, on paper, one of the best centre midfielders. They both ain't playing like it at the moment. Why is that? I said it in my fan cam. He's turned bloody Partey into Frimpong and Aubameyang into Sonogo. That's the level of play that they are playing at the moment. It is poor to watch. So why is that, Lee?
I don't know. I just said someone in the chat said about El Nenny's not the answer. We know El Nenny's not the answer, but he's done all right. Why, if he's not the answer, why bring him in against Man United and leave him out against Everton? That's the question that I'm asking. You know what I mean? Listen, people can say whatever they like, about the Liverpool game. Whether you think it's a free hit or not, you know what I mean? And the people going, free hit and everything like that, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you think you can put on your little computers, free hit and things like that, thinking that you can go to Liverpool and beat Liverpool the way they're playing at the moment, then you're more deluded than me, right? About free hit, you know what I mean? That's the end of it. But ultimately, when you go to Everton that are bottom 4 and ain't won in 8 games, you know what I mean? It should be a free hit our way. You know what I mean? Like we should be having a free hit against them. You know what I mean? But we haven't. You know what I mean? And listen, I can accept I can accept losing to Liverpool because they're a different class at this moment in time. But I can't accept losing the way we did yesterday to a team that's not won in 8 games. Fans walking out of the pitch, out of the stadium. I've spoken to a couple of Everton fans, didn't even see the first half. They sat standing in the concourse having a beer. I'm not interested in about it, you know what I mean? And things like that. I look at what has happened to these players. Why are they not playing well? And I look at Aston Villa, right? Couldn't get a win under Dean Smith, who's not a bad manager, if I'll be honest, but things just not going for enough. Steven Gerrard comes in. They've won 3. They've won. Is it 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4? Look completely different. Same players, just a different manager with different ideas and a different system. And that's what it is all down to. You've got players. As I said earlier on, I've heard people turn around, Dan, saying, we're a centre forward away from being a goal. Just centre forward wants to come to this team at the moment. 1 goal in 7. And that's if you call Martinelli a striker. You know what I mean? The last time a striker scored was against Aston Villa. What sort of system and setup are you having if you're setting up to fail? I will say this, you know what I mean? I'm absolutely gutted we've lost yesterday, you know what I mean? And I've seen it in Twitter today, I've seen it all over, people gloating. Oh, I'm right and I about Arteta, gloating about it, you know what I mean? Well, I can tell you that I'm sick as a pig that I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And a lot of fans out there are not believing in this process, Dan. They're not believing it. They're hoping, is exactly what you said the other day, hoping that they get it right. And maybe the board are doing that as well. But for me now, it's gone above everything else. You know what I mean? I've really wanted it to work for Arteta, you know what I mean? But you bring up some fantastic points there. What one I said yesterday, Eddie, right, let's get this right. Done really well against Leeds in the League Cup. Played really, really well. Scored a goal. Worked hard. And I thought, God, blimey, he's done really well there. Not even in the squad the next time. Then all of a sudden he says, I'm not signing a contract. He's been in the last 2 Premier League squads playing and got minutes. What the hell is going on? Now, I'll tell you what, I thought he done okay yesterday when he came on. I'm going to say that now. I thought, he looked lively and whatever, but he's missed a sitter. There was your chance. To start, if you want to be at Arsenal, stamp your authority on it, fouled. But unfortunately, you know, you're looking at this. People are saying now, oh, what about Pepe? You know, bringing Pepe back. And, you know, there's a call for that now, I've got to say, when you see everything like, you know. But people forget how poor Pepe was before, you know. This is a manager. Let's get this right about Pepe, right? And this is where I'm not going to blame Pepe at all, like, you know. He had a fantastic run to the FA Cup final. Fantastic. Played really well in the final, semi-final. Looking the part. Looking the part at long last. We went and signed Willian and replaced Willian with him. What does that tell you? You know, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get that there's fans out there that want him to be successful and all that. I've had my mates preaching me, you know what I mean? You've got to believe in it. You've got to believe in this now. They're not now. I think yesterday was a massive turning point. Like, you know, it was, you know, because you can't see us. When are we going to win? You know, Leeds going to put a bit of pressure on us. We're going to fold. You know, the tactics yesterday. I'll tell you what, it weren't no tactics yesterday. It was just a poor performance from the word go. Watching that game, you just gone and got stuffed against Man United when you probably shouldn't have done. Come out and show me something. They showed me absolutely nothing, Dan, and that's what worries me. And this is a new set of players, young players, you know what I mean, that's supposed to have the mentality and all that, like, you know. No leaders from the side. I don't see it, you know. Like, and someone said to me today, do you know what an Arsenal fan said to me today? And do you know what? I'm not gonna argue with this. When that ball come along to Aubameyang, he just thought, oh, I'll have a go. I think he thought, sod it, you know. I ain't getting this manager out of jail. There could be something in that. You know, why should I save him? He's just dropped me and whatever. I just don't know what is going on. But the mentality of this football club has been questioned for a very, very long while now. And everybody says, wait till he gets his players in. Well, I've waited and I've got his players in. The mentality is still as weak as my nan's tea. And that wasn't a very nice cup of tea, even though I loved her. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that is how weak we are. And I'll tell you what, where do we rank Mikel Arteta as a manager? Do you rate him above Sean Dyche? Do you rate him above Steve Bruce? Be honest. Where are you actually putting him in the scale of managers in this league? Whereabouts is he?
Well, when they did a vote at the start of the season, he come 19th, and the only manager below him was Xisco, who got sacked for Ranieri at Watford. That says enough for me. Steve Bruce was higher than him. Sean Dyche was higher than him. I bet Sam Allardyce would have been as well last season for West Brom. This is a poor, poor manager, mate. I want to address something, Lee, because there's a lot of people that are looking at being positive and nothing's wrong. This isn't an issue. Mikel's the man. Dave Jordan's one of them. He says that we're too negative. Arsenal still created the best chances. And apparently, Dan has an explosion in his pants when he sees an opportunity to criticise Arteta. It is sad to see. Dave,
listen,
I'm
go on,
sorry.
you go. Go on, you go. No. Listen, you cannot defend that yesterday, that performance. You know what I mean? Like, now, whatever you think about Dan, and Dan, yeah, is Arteta out. He's that. I've not been. I've been like, you know what I mean, one that's sitting on the fence and wanted things to go well. How can you defend that yesterday? Chances were better. They had 2 goals offside which could have been given. Like, you know what I mean? Come on. They totally dominated the game. I'm sorry, I don't see why you've got to jump onto Dan's case about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come out with some facts and tell me what you think was great about Mikel Arteta in that performance there. Like, you know, and you know, because I've tried to defend it, been slagged off for it. You know what I mean? Try to give him a go with the Liverpool game, if I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Like, trying to say, like, you know, oh, they're much better than us and everything like that. But come on, where along the line are you going to stop now and say, right, no, enough's enough? Dan?
The problem I've got, mate, is that there are, and whether Dave's trolling or not, I really don't care, but there are sections of this fan base that are protecting this manager. I never saw the protection for Wenger. I definitely didn't see the protection for Emery. And we had Wenger finish 5th, which was a disappointment. And Emery finished 5th, 1 point off the top 4 and get to Europa League final. And we hounded him out. And now we've got a section of this fan base protecting this clown for coming 8th twice in a row. What the hell's happened to this fan base? There's a section of this fan base that deserve this. They deserve Kroenke. I hope for their sake that he stays, because they must be happy. They must be loving it. Because the minute we question this manager, it is always the players. But when we win, Mikel Arteta is a genius, isn't he? When we lose,
that is the greatest point you've made, Dan, right? Soon as we win games, right, Mikel is the man. Trust the process, trust that, But when it's not, we missed chances. It was down to the players. It's not Arteta's fault because we missed chances, right? Come on, see the other side of it all, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's more. There's more to that, I don't really know what more else to say. You know what I mean? Come with me to the facts, right? There's a few that are backing at Mikel. Great. I'm not gonna slag you off or whatever. You say you are, and the performance was that there. Tell me why we are playing negative, rubbish, boring football defensively in there, making our forwards work very, very hard. And we are conceding 4 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals. Why are we doing that? Is it the players' fault? Are we going to keep continuing blaming the players? Or are you going to hold your hands up and say something is not right? Because what I'm seeing in games of football against a team like Everton yesterday, I see us getting turned over and rolled over quite easily. Look at the last goal, shambolic. We're 1-1. You can turn around and say we're 1-1, right? Yeah, we're 1-1 with a couple of minutes to go. Ben White's marauding down the flank, leaving everything open for a counter attack. Why didn't he do that when we was 1-0 up? And if we do concede, it's 1-1. Why is he doing it when it's 1-1? Why couldn't he do it when it was 1-0? Little things like that, I don't really.
What I do not understand is the protection this manager's got. I've never understood it. I've never, ever understood it. If it was Patrick Vieira or Thierry Henry, I could probably get behind it a bit more, because this guy is nowhere near a legend of the club. This guy is like a Jules Gramondi to Arsenal. Yeah? He is not an absolute legend of Arsenal Football Club. He was a good player. Get over it. That was it. He is not a good manager. He's not done anything to prove anybody that anything different than being a bang average coach. That is all he is. I've seen nothing but mediocrity from him, and the acceptance of this fan base of it is an absolute disgrace as far as I'm concerned. We need strikers. He hasn't bought a forward yet. He's only bought 17 players. There's Pepe and Lacazette are the only 2 that he hasn't re-signed or signed himself. Everybody else is his player. So don't give me this nonsense that he still needs more windows. I said yesterday he needs more windows than Microsoft. Honestly, this guy is an absolute fraud of a coach and a manager. And the acceptance in the fan base of bumps in the road, they should work for the council, mate. Because I've seen so many bumps in the road, they're turning into potholes very soon. Trust me. It's an embarrassment, the state that these people are in. They're accepting mediocrity. That 8th place is progress. That 7th place at the moment is progress. I've seen absolutely no progress under this process at all. Yet people want to come in and say that he's doing a good job. Please explain to me and back up your opinions, for God's sake, on why you think this guy's doing a good job. Because I can sit there and say that Arteta's brilliant if I want, but I can't give you any evidence to suggest why. So please, somebody come in the chat and tell me what this guy is doing that is so exceptional for you to protect him. Because no one can do it yet. And while you're at it, tell me what style of play we are having. Tell me an attacking, attractive style of play that you see under Arsenal Football Club, under this absolute clown called Mikel Arteta, because I cannot see one. And I haven't been able to for almost 2 years now. It's an absolute disgrace that people get behind this and think it's good, and we're happy with it. This is a what do they call it? A bottle job merchant. This is a real negative way to go from our board and in our opinion and our ownership by saying this is our excuse. They're young. I do not back this process because we've got a young coach and young players that are making naive mistakes every single game, and people are coming up with excuses every week saying that they're young. Well, this is the way that your board and owners want to go. So why are you getting behind it? Why are you believing that this manager has got the ability to all of a sudden take a load of young players at once and get the best out of them? Why is it that he cannot get any of our seniors players to score? Why is it that combined between Erdegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe and Lacazette, Pepe has scored more goals and he can't get on the pitch? Maitland-Niles can't get on the pitch now. Man of the match against Watford. Lokonga, one of the best players against Newcastle, can't get on the pitch now. Kieran Tierney only just been allowed back in. One of our better players yesterday, subbed. Yet Granit Xhaka walked straight back in. El Neni against Old Trafford, straight in the team. Why? What are these decisions? Nketiah's coming on now as our super sub. Can't score for Toffee, misses a header from 1 yard, and we're still bringing him on. He'll come on again against Southampton. You watch. Ahead of Pepe. I can't defend any of this, Lee.
No, look, and the other thing that is worrying is that you can't. What I'm watching with Arsenal at the moment, and I agree with everything you're saying now. Is that you can't get? I don't know if Arsenal are going to win on Saturday or not. I just don't trust when Arsenal are going to win games. I don't know when they're going to. They could win, they could lose. But I tell you what, right? When I look at Southampton, I think I don't know. We should win it, but we might not. We could. We can't. I don't know. But when we go to Liverpool, I know we're going to lose. I know when we've got Man City on New Year's Day, I know we're going to lose. But I can't say when we're going to win. The system that we have at the moment is not going to beat good teams. We're doing things that we're not comfortable doing, Dan. You know what I mean? We're giving the ball away cheaply in areas like because we're not playing to the strengths of these players. Now, you made a great point to me earlier on. All these players, right? All these players, apart from two now, have been either signed by Arteta or given new contracts. So, and he still can't find a system that makes them good and everything like that. That's where I'm on about it, which is a worry, like, you know what I mean? So, listen. You can go on and say about Mikel Arteta, you don't like him and whatever, and make things to say that he's not a good coach. You know what I mean? Or you can try and back him and whatever. Do you know what decent Arsenal fans do? Is whether they rate him or not, they've tried to back him. And I get that, and I love the fact that we have. The Arsenal fans at the game yesterday, magnificent again. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Manchester United. A lot of Arsenal fans maybe not have really deep down wanted him or felt that he was any good then or whatever, but they've backed him. They've backed him. Tried to believe in the faith and everything like that, And ultimately, that is the thing that's probably hurting Arsenal fans. It's hurting me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stand the fact that there are Arsenal fans that have gloated because he's like not doing well and whatever, like, I'm gutted by that, like, you know what I mean? But that is where it is, like, you know what I mean? And it doesn't. I don't care that I'm wrong, Dan. I don't care that I'm wrong. I honestly thought that maybe it would have been a good time to do it and all that, like, but it hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked, Dust me hands down. I'm not. But someone put there, like, you know what I mean, like, today on Twitter. Oh, you want a man to lose his job and all that. Don't worry about it. I can tell you this: Mikel will be fine. He's a millionaire. He ain't gonna lose. He ain't gonna lose the sleep that I've lost because he's gonna lose his job. He'll be well paid. He'll be looked after it, like, you know what I mean. That's how it was, you know what I mean.
But I think, Lee, there is a section of this fan base as well, and I'm going to mention him because I get on a right with everyone seems to have their opinions on him. But There are fans in the fan base that are Lee Gunner that say it how it is, in my opinion, and he comes out with facts. But the way that he does things on social media, people don't like it, right? That's their opinion. It's up to him what he does, in my opinion. Yeah, anyone can do what they want. Anyone can say what they want. But sometimes when there's people that agree with others like Lee Gunner, everybody gets, oh, you can't be like Lee Gunner because Lee Gunner's toxic. And it seems to me that if you believe that Arteta isn't the man, you're in that category of being toxic. Now, I would suggest it's the other way around, and the people that are being positive and that have no belief in the manager or the process are just hoping for it to be better, and they see us beat Norwich and Watford and go, oh, let's get excited. For me, that's toxic positivity at the very highest level. That you think it's okay that we're in 7th position after spending £150 million being out of Europe, preparing for one game a week, which Chelsea City could only dream of doing because they haven't done it for years. Yeah? And we are in 7th place, 4 points off of Steven Gerrard's Villa, who were apparently in an absolute calamity when Dean Smith was there only 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So why is it that Graham Potter can get the best out of Mopai and Danny Welbeck, and Steven Gerrard can get the best out of Villa players, and David Moyes can get the best out of Lanzini and Fornals and Antonio, but we can't get the best out of the most expensive front three in the Premier League? Add it up. It is Pepe, 72 million. Aubameyang, 60 million. Lacazette, 55 million. And they cannot score. The three of them haven't scored for God knows how long now. Pepe, because he can't get on the pitch after being our top goal scorer last season. He can't now play. And we've got Aubameyang and Lacazette. It doesn't matter who it is up front. They cannot score for toffee. Lacazette hasn't scored for ages, but he doesn't get the abuse that Aubameyang does. It is the style of play, surely, that has to be addressed. And the only way to do that is to get somebody in. Now, people have been asking in the chat, who have we got? Who's out there? There's nobody else better. Everybody said that after Wenger. Everybody said that after Emery. There's nobody else better. No one of the other managers have said that. Tottenham didn't sit there and say, oh, there's nobody better than Nuno. Manchester United didn't say, there's nobody better than Ollie. They went and got the man that they thought was the right one. Now, that Ollie was meant, I couldn't believe they held on for him for that long. But they got rid of him. Why? Because they were in absolute shambolic state, just like we are now. And then you've got the situation at Chelsea, which is an unbelievably good example to use. That a legend of their club, and proper legend Lee, Frank Lampard, comes into their team and he cannot win for toffee. With a team that's just won the Champions League and is sitting near the top of the table, with the same players under Tuchel, gets to an FA Cup final, into the top 4 from 9th place, Champions League, and everyone is saying is the favourite now to win this league. With the same players, Saul, they bought in, injured. Lukaku, they bought in, injured for most this season. Just come back now. Playing players like Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi and Mason Mount and Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Christensen and Ben Chilwell and Timo Werner and Ziyech. Players that were getting Chelsea in 9th under Frank Lampard, all of a sudden, oh, it's not the players anymore, is it? It's the manager who's the right reason. Conte comes in at Spurs. Absolute dire to watch. Now, they're starting to win games. And they're starting to win games because they've got a world-class coach. We have not. This team, I stand by this team, is nowhere near 8th place, in my opinion, on paper. But the manager is the reason we're 8th.
A couple of things, like let's address the league going thing. Like I've got a lot of time for Lee. He's a nice guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I agree with a lot of what he says. I really do. I think he says, do I agree the way he goes about it? No. What I will bring to issue with Lee is that when things are going well and Mikel does something good, he's not interested. You know what I mean? It's only with the negative side and all that. Like, but that doesn't mean to say he's toxic. He wants the best for the football club, and I ain't going to criticise him because of the way that he goes and supports the football club and whatever. I know. I've actually been to a game with Lee and Manchester City away from home. You know what I mean? Like, he's as passionate as me. So I've got no problems with people saying what they've got to say and do things like that. You know. So you could, you know, I will say this every game. Why do people criticise the way people support their club and whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Now, listen, if you don't like what Lee's got to say, don't listen to him.
Exactly.
You know, and that's how it is. You know what I mean? And for me, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Lee slags me off at the end of the day. He slagged me off about the free and all that. I ain't gonna like fall out of him. when I see him, I give him a free hit. You know what I mean? Like, but other than that, I ain't worried. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things. That's how it is. You know what I mean? He don't agree with what I say. We ain't going to go mad and start abusing each other and things like that. I look at Brendan Rodgers. He took over at Leicester. Jamie Vardy was on the bench, couldn't get a tune out of him. Poyo couldn't get a tune out of him, like, you know. Comes in straight away, turns it around. Banging in goals for fun, you know what I mean? He's 34 now, so maybe he's just starting to go to a little bit. So, but then people go, oh, Brendan Rodgers lost a few games at Leicester. Well, he ain't no good. Right? He ain't no good. But then turn around and go, but Arteta, he's still the man. You know what I mean? Like,
such a good point.
Because he hasn't won a couple of games. But it's all right. We'll keep Mikel. You know what I mean? This is the sort of things that you're doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, this is how I see it, like, you know. And for me, Brendan Rodgers all day long, I'd have it at his football club. Because he's lost a few games at Leicester. I've just seen Arsenal lose 3 out of 4 games. But everybody still thinks that Mikel's the man. You know?
It's such a good point, mate. It's such a good point. Lee, we're going to wrap up in a minute because I know you've got to shoot off soon. But I want to ask this question. Where do we go from here, in your opinion, Lee? What would you think needs to happen?
We need to change the manager. We need to, you know, because we're on a conveyor belt that we can't get off. You know what I mean? Listen, Arsenal could probably go and win 5-6 games on now. Yeah. And in 2 or 3 weeks' time, they'll lose another 4 or 5. As I said, you know, after another 15 games, let's wait another 15 games, like, yeah, and see what happens. We'll be round about where we are. We need someone. We need just we need something to freshen it up. Get our experienced players playing again. It won't happen, right? That's the thing. That's why I'm disheartened about it all, like, at the moment, because it won't happen. We're going to be stuck with this manager for the foreseeable future, and I see that 100%, like, you know. And what annoys me a little bit is, you know, I want it. Arsenal fans, whether you like AFTV, like Lee Gunner, like what this, do this and all that, I want Arsenal to win. We just do it in different ways and whatever, like, you know. And it's frustration, like, you know what I mean, at the end of it, like, you know. And listen, I'm hurting big time over these last few games. Is Josh, and that's my thing of it all, like, do you know what I mean?
Great question.
And like, listen, I'm going to be really honest about this. Like, I watched the Washington football team in American football. I really enjoy it. They're my team and everything like that. They won the other day, and I'm grateful. If they lose, then it don't hurt me like it does Arsenal. It doesn't hurt me. You know what I mean? Like,
nothing does, mate, other than Arsenal.
I'm in deep with the Arsenal, and is my owner in deep with the Arsenal? I don't, and I'm not sure.
We're going to find this out, aren't we?
Got a few super chats before we go, or are they all gone?
I think I've lost a lot of them. Dave did collect some of them, but they have.
Well, listen, if it's a super chat and all that, we do appreciate it. Sorry, because like,
got one from Sam here that says,
as quick as that, have we really, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
there's so many of them that came up, and Dave's had to shoot off, and he was collating them, but he's had to go. So I do appreciate this. Sam, thank you very much. Not necessarily Arteta in or out that's toxic. It's a selection of fans from each camp who abuse the others and think they can tell other fans how to feel or support. I think that's absolutely spot on. I honestly do, Lee, and the reason I say that is because it seems to me this fan base can never unite.
Dad, just got to make a thing on here, like, you know what I mean, like, and on this comment, like, you know what I mean, like, where is it, like, you know what I mean?
What one is it?
The real ones are Turkish troops, Curtis, Lee Gunner, and now Dan. What? Because they want Mikel Arteta out. That doesn't make you a real fan because you want him out. It doesn't make you. It can make you a real. This is what I'm saying. If you're a real, if you still want Mikel Arteta in, doesn't make it say you're not a real Arsenal fan. Let's get this right. It's all about opinions at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying, because you want we want the best for our football club. We feel at this moment in time, you lot earlier than me, that a change of manager is what you want. That doesn't mean to say there's a person that wants Mikel and hopefully to succeed it. Is anything, I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but don't make it out that he's not an Arsenal fan. And I'm not having that. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
I'm not having.
and you're right, mate. And there's a difference between saying that you're a fan of somebody's opinion, and there's a difference between saying they're real fans. Because there are fans I know all over the world that would love to come to the Emirates every week and they can't. I just want to say before we do wrap up things, Lee, I don't have any faith in this board or this ownership to sack this manager. I really don't. They've had opportunities in the last 3 or 4 months. They've had opportunities in the last year or even 2 years to sack this manager. And those opportunities were back in October to November 2020 when we went through an awful home record. The second opportunity was against Villarreal where we got dumped out of it by Unai Emery. The third opportunity was the first 3 games of this season where I said that I only wanted to see the first 6 games progress and we were bottom of the table. And then we've now in a situation where we've lost the big games and it still looks like he's safe. So I have absolutely no faith that this board of ownership are going to do that. Now that leaves us in a real worrying situation because I believe personally the way we're playing, we're probably going to be around about 7th or 8th again without European football, and we haven't even got European football this season. That is not progress. For me, I wanted top 4. I know you wanted European places, otherwise he has to go. For me, I think they've put so much faith into this project and person to take us forward that they're so embarrassed by having to get rid of him that I think we're stuck with him. For me now, I asked you what you'd do. I tell you what I do. I go to Ajax and I say, right, Ten Hag, how much do you want a year? 10 million? It's all yours. Come and save us. That style of football is attractive. He's used to working with younger players at Ajax. And I believe, personally, if he brought Overmars with him, a pair of them have done a fantastic job that, might have suited Ajax, but I think the pair of them know what they're doing. Come over to Arsenal and give us a chance again for top 4, because believe it or not, it is up for grabs with teams around us dropping points. Everybody else has changed their manager around us, which has now made things look differently. West Ham are flying under Moyes. Conte's coming at Spurs and giving them a glimmer of hope of European places or maybe even top 4 because I rate the world-class manager that highly. Ralf Rangnick, with players like that quality going forward, yes, they've got defensive issues, Manchester United, but they've definitely got a chance at top 4. It has made us so hard to get into that top 4 now if we keep Mikel Arteta. So I'm going to sit there now and say that I want him out, but it's no shock to anybody because I've wanted him out for so long now. But I'm going to leave the last word with you, Lee. Do you think have the faith that the owners or the board will sack him? And if not, when do you think they will?
No, I don't think they will sack him. I think like that's my point. That's why I'm more down about it than ever. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't see us sacking him. I really don't. But what someone just said in the chat there, like, and I agree with them. I don't care who is manager of my football club. I don't care who it will be, as long as they're winning games of football. We ain't got that in a minute. So I don't got no care or no feelings towards Mikel Arteta at all. You know what I mean? Like when he was winning the FA Cup, of course I'm going to love him and all that. Like, but at this moment in time, I want a manager, whether it be Brendan Rodgers, Potter, Ajax manager, Allegri, or whoever. As long as they come in and start winning games of football, I'll be happy. I don't see that with this manager. So that is the ultimate reason, right, that I want him gone. Not because he's got a better hairline than me, or he's a good-looking Spaniard, or whatever. Right? What I want him to do is to win games of football. Ultimately, I want to be entertained as well. But when I'm watching crap like that yesterday, being annihilated and we're being totally out of play by a team down in the bottom of the table, I don't want him at my football club. But that doesn't. What I want is not going to happen. Then, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's down to ultimately on the ball. Now, if I'm one of these fans that's on the
AST, yeah,
like, you know what I mean, I will be saying to those people that Josh Kroenke, why are you keeping a manager that after you spent £150 million, still nothing has improved? 7 wins, 6 losses. Why? That's the question I'm going to ask you. What are you going to do? What's going to happen? Like, because I see that if he turns around and says, I'll say, right, get someone in that can get me 10 wins and 3 losses. And I then see improvement.
I think you've summed it up well. Just a quick super chat here before we do finish, and I'm just going to say one last thing. Against Newcastle, Sambi created more chances than any other player and was better than Partey. The reward is he gets dropped. The worst manager I've ever seen, and all the youngsters are now regressing.
We'll try and go through the super chats later day and bring them up again or so. I don't know if we can or not, because I feel bad that people are putting super chats and haven't.
Yeah, 100%. I do too. That is our fault, guys. We were waiting for Dave to sort them out for us, but he's at the shoot off, so we do apologise. But thank you so much for donating. It's absolutely amazing. One thing I will just leave you with is empty seats will sack Arteta, and I think the fans do need to make their voices heard now. And it's one thing I've always questioned: can the fans unite? Can we get the Cronkies out? Can we get Arteta out? Can we influence positive change to this football club? Is my question that I will leave you with. Lee, I think we needed to do this because it's good therapy. I think it was needed.
Yeah.
I thank everybody in the chat. There's well over 1,200 of you watching live. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, well, that's unbelievable. Thanks for that, and thanks for the people in the chat as well. Because I tell you what, you need to have opinions in football. It's all about opinions, and I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, we can all argue and not agree with each other. Let's not be abusive, because I can tell you this now: it is going to get a lot worse in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I've got to say that they say it gets worse before it gets better, and let's hope that's not the case. But I fear the worst for Arsenal Football Club. Guys, thank you all so much, genuinely, so much interaction in the chat. Thank you all so much for coming back. It's great therapy for me and Lee, and I hope it's great therapy for you guys too. We all want one thing, and that's Arsenal victories, and at the moment it's proving very difficult. We will be back very soon. We'll probably see you on Thursday evening for a preview show for the Southampton game. Myself, Lee and Kevin, and we've got a Southampton fan coming on as well. So we'll probably see you then at 9 o'clock. Until then, take care, guys, and up the Arsenal.